everyone, and welcome to the webinar today with the Sisel Doctors Clinic Call with Andrea McKinney and myself. We're going to be talking about optimum health in 2019. And, good morning, Andrea. How are you?
Good morning, Doc.
Hey, what a great day. The sun is shining, it's not freezing cold outside.
What's that about rain? Snow for 18 days?
No, that was a fake post. I just didn't want I don't want all the crazy people showing up in North Dakota and saying they're going to move here.
I didn't think I heard anything on the news about that.
Right? Yeah. No, we're just trying. I'm just trying to kind of keep
Good
the
Lord,
riffraff
now
out.
I have to censor you out because you're fake news.
Right? And I said don't move to I said don't move to Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota. Yeah. Right.
You're too funny.
But anyhow, hey folks, 2019 is like what, 2 weeks away?
No, can't be that close. Is it? 3. About 3. We'll see.
Less than 3.
Right? A little
bit. And with Christmas, people tend to lose 2 or 3 days, don't they?
Right. That whole last week, might as well not do that.
Right.
Right.
It's one of those weeks where you go, okay. So we got really, today is the 11th. Christmas is on the 25th. And
every year.
Every year. So it's 14 days away. 14 days away.
Yep. How about that?
Right. And then we got that week in between, and then it's 2019. What do you got planned?
Unbelievable.
What do you got planned?
Nobody in my sphere of generation ever thought we'd see 2019 ever. Like you just couldn't imagine it back in the 70s.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you guys were doing so many drugs back then.
I didn't do drugs.
I
didn't do drugs.
A little bit of this,
Nah, none of that.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That was the 1970s, from what I remember.
that was the 60s.
Oh, was that the 60s? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, anyhow, what's your New Year's resolutions? What do you got planned?
I don't have one right now.
Really?
No. How about you?
Shoot, I got a few. Yeah, I got.
You're working hard on it.
I'm already working on it. Yeah, I'm putting everything into place right now. I'm
impressed. You're making it happen.
In fact, I might have to get off the call and you'll have to take over because I've got some new gym equipment showing up. They're delivering it this morning, and they called me at about 9 o'clock and they said, "Oh, we might show up between this and this time." So I might have to jump off and just leave this running and you take over.
Good.
Yeah, but Andrea, my goal is I want to get healthier.
I can tell that you're determined to do that.
11 years ago, I got in a horrible motorcycle wreck, and I didn't know. They told me I'd never walk again, and it was like, it was a scary time.
I bet.
It was a scary time, and I gained some weight because of it, and my metabolism went down. I look back at it now, and I really went through I'm going to say a deep depression.
I would imagine.
And so I feel like I've recovered from all of that, and now I just got to get my metabolism back up, lose this extra belly fat that I got, lose that.
You can do it.
I'm gonna.
I believe you're gonna do it.
And I joined a gym, and I thought, well, I'll start going to the gym and I'll start working out. And I hate going to the gym. That's what I found out.
Yeah, I don't like it too much myself.
You
have to be really self-disciplined to work out at home.
Well, the thing that I don't like about going to the gym, Andrea, is that, okay, I live outside of town, really. I'm out in the country. You've been here.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order for me to go to the gym, I've got to change clothes, put on my workout clothes. They don't want you coming in with street shoes. You got to bring shoes. So you got to get there and you got to put the different shoes on. Then you actually get to do your workout. And then when you get ready to leave, then you got to do all this stuff to get back home. And I don't go to the gym in the summertime because I do stuff outside, and so I'm going in the winter, so I got to let my car warm up before and after. So really, by the time I get ready, I get there and I do whatever I'm going to do, and then I come back, it's 2 hours.
You know what I hate about going to the gym? It's having to spray down every piece of equipment I hop on. If I'm going to clean, I might as well stay home and clean, right? They should just provide like little assistants that run around and clean behind you.
That would be good. Some of the girls that are there, I wouldn't mind having them run around being.
Should have known that was coming.
It'd be like going to Hooters.
Right? Especially if they gave them really cute uniforms like Hooters.
Right? Yeah. Sorry, folks. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to offend anybody, but well, so I'm setting up a gym here at home. My son, he's into Golden Gloves boxing, so he's teaching me how to box. The 0-1-2, and so I got a heavy bag. We hung that up last week. I got a speed bag. And he taught me how to do some shadow boxing, and I got some gloves. I got some 16-ounce gloves, and yesterday I had this tile floor. It's about a half-inch thick rubber tile that holds together like a puzzle. I'm doing my whole floor, my whole basement floor.
Cool.
Yeah. And then I got this new elliptical coming today, just like the one that I use at the gym. Right.
Cool. And you never did show me your renovation in the basement. So, I mean, the walls have got to look pretty cool.
Bricks. It looks like bricks. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks to you, Andrea. I appreciate you telling me how you did that and show me how you did that. And then so I worked on that. So, but folks, I mean, whether you have the room in your house and you're going to build your own gym, maybe you don't like going to the gym, like I don't like going to the gym, or maybe, like Andrea doesn't have the space to build a gym at her house. Find a way to do stuff that you want to do to make your life healthier. Right? Isn't that the answer?
Right.
Because
I could go in and dust off my Bowflex.
You have a Bowflex. There you go.
I do. It's lonely.
But like my son was telling me, he was saying, well, Dad, I mean, you can just do the shadow boxing. How much space do you need for that?
Right.
And I was surprised. I was surprised when I did 12 3-minute rounds on the bag. You get a sweat.
That's good.
Yeah, you get a sweat and you feel it. You feel it, you're all over. Right? But as we talk about optimal health, it's not just exercise, is it?
Oh, no, not at all.
Where it's up here, right?
It is. You have to make that decision. And you're inspiring people right now, because when you listen to somebody say, well, I'm doing this or I'm doing that to optimize my biohack my body, it inspires you to get started. It's like, I'm thinking about dusting off that Bowflex right now.
There you go. Right. Just like the Karate Kid, dust off, dust on.
Dust on. Right.
Did you watch that movie? Did you like that?
Patience, grasshopper.
Well, now when you say grasshopper, though, now you're aging yourself. That's from David Carradine with Kung Fu, right?
Right.
Where he carried that red hot bowl in his arms, right? And he didn't get burned.
I remember that. I don't think I was that old. I don't think I'm that old.
I mean, I never did understand that story. Did he get kicked out of China?
I have no idea.
Anyhow, but a lot of it is mental, right? I mean, and mental health is so important. Boy, I tell you what, there's so many people these days that are just depressed. Christmas depresses people.
It does, if they have unreal expectations about what is going to happen during Christmas season.
Right. Or maybe, it brings back memories and things like that. And yeah. So get together with people, hang out, I mean, that's why we get on these calls and you see Andrea and I kind of joking around a little bit. I mean, holy cow, let's make it fun. We're in business, but
Right. And I'm single, I live alone, and in the winter it's really hard. Like it gets dark here at 4:30, so everyone's going, the nights are so long, good time to work out, but
right.
haven't done that yet. I will. And I made a determination this fall that I was going to be intentional about going out and being social with people, like calling up somebody and say, let's go to dinner, let's go to a movie, something to help create a more fun atmosphere throughout the winter season. Because
That's
by
right.
February, we're all throat punching each other here in Michigan by February. It's like I'm trying to keep my mental attitude, up there for the season.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, is it working? Have you punched anybody?
Oh, no, not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Do you know how the 1-2?
Sometimes I turn the heat up really high and put on my swimming suit and play a little bit of Jimmy Buffett.
There you go.
I have to close the drapes so I don't see the snow,
Right.
Pretend I'm in paradise.
Right. Put up some pictures of a beach somewhere.
Right.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That helps. It really does make a difference. It really does make a difference when you start thinking about that, and drink some coffee and drink some rum.
But you're right. Mental health is very important to physical health. And social interaction is also very important to health.
Right.
They've done tests, people who are more socially intertwined with other people are healthier people.
Yeah. Right. It really is. And so 2019, you want to get out and you want to socialize. You want to, maybe you're snowed in, you can't do anything. Grab the phone, call
Right.
your friends and learn how to do live calls, interactive, so you can see the other person, because, there's a lot to that, it creates that rapport, that bonding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's important. Bonding is important, and as we look at 2019 food wise, right? Eating right.
Yeah.
I was just having this discussion with my mom and dad yesterday. My dad turned 81 yesterday.
Yay. Happy birthday, Joe.
Yeah, he turned 81. Thank you. And I remember, it was 3 years ago, Mom and Dad were planning Dad's funeral rather than planning Christmas. Mom said, I remember my mom telling me, she said, with Dad dying, she said, I'm not into Christmas this year. That's what she told me that year.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right. And now she's way into it again. I mean, we do this white elephant gifting, between me and my brothers and my sister and the grandkids and that. And Dad actually went out and bought his own gift for the white elephant gifting.
Awesome.
Right. And I thought that's pretty cool, because I mean, I don't think that he really did a lot of shopping before. I think Mom did that. So he got into that. I mean, and so get into things, start having some fun, make life fun.
Right.
And but eat right. Decide right now that in 2019 you're going to start being on a better program for yourself. Right?
Yeah, it's all you kind of have to flip that switch in your brain. Like you think about it and you think about it and you think about it, you get a little closer to, actually taking the action. But it's like you have to flip that switch. You have to concentrate on it long enough and think about it long enough to flip that switch so that you actually take the action, put it into action.
Right. Yeah. And so that's why I'm getting started now. I mean, I actually got started planning this in November, so that when January rolls around, I've already got all my gears working, they're ticking, they're talking, and meshing together, you know, I mean, everything's rolling together the way it's supposed to be. I've worked out all the program, because what happens is that a lot of people, they wait until January 1st, maybe January 2nd, and then, you know, because they're wearing off their hangover from January 1st. And then, so they actually don't start until January 2nd. And then by then, they don't have the bugs worked out of the system. So by the 15th of January, guess what they're already thinking about?
Quitting or not getting going, taking no action.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so you're kind of giving people a pre-warning right now, like, hey, start thinking about this.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Right now. Get started now. Start planning it. What are you going to do? I mean, do you want to lose weight? Right? Do people want to lose weight? Sure they do. What is it, like 80% of people in America say that after the 1st of January, they're going to lose weight?
Right.
And how many people are planning ahead? How many people are really saying, here's what I'm going to do. Here's my program that I'm going to follow, right? You can't do a keto diet and a vegan diet at the same time.
Right. You can't do a Christmas diet.
The Christmas diet. It's kind of like the seafood diet, except with more candy and cake. But yeah, so I mean, you got to plan ahead. What are you going to do? If your goal is, and look at your lifestyle. I mean, I've got a freezer full of red meat. I'm not going to go vegan.
No, you wouldn't do that.
Not for me. I couldn't even imagine going vegan. But for some people, they don't like red meat.
Right.
Okay. Plan around that. Plan around your lifestyle. If you live out in the middle of nowhere and you don't have a place to work out, what are you going to do? Because you got to get some exercise. You got to work the muscles.
Hey,
right? And
you can tune in all kinds of physical activity on YouTube. You know, go get a Chrome thingy and stream YouTube to your TV like I do, and sit there and work out. There's that, what is it, a 5-minute workout with that one guy. I posted it on the Sisel, was it this page? Sisel Doctors Clinic, I think, a little while ago. I posted it. And it increases nitric oxide in your body. You do it for 5 minutes, like 3 times a day.
5 minutes, 3 times a day.
Simple things.
Who couldn't do that? Right?
Everybody could do that.
Who couldn't do that? And I remember a number of years ago, they were talking about how, all you have to do is just jump up and down. Mm-hmm. Jump up and down, just jump up and down, look like a crazy person. But they said that
put on music and dance.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like Elaine.
Yeah, do the monkey. Do the
dance like Elaine from Seinfeld.
Yeah, you might want to move a little more than that.
But again, make it fun. Find something that's fun, and then if you're going to have optimum health, the whole thing is that okay. So we've talked about mental health, and a lot of people they live in the big city. They live in Detroit, up by you, or they live in Minneapolis, and they live in New York City, and they're saying that sometimes the big city is actually, even though there's millions of people, it's one of the loneliest places to live.
Right.
I know when I lived in Minneapolis, I just felt like I was isolated, even though there's millions of people there, 3 million people.
Mm-hmm.
And because, you got to get out and you got to figure out how do you get involved with different things. And maybe that's a good reason to start Sisel. You can find other people who are interested in health and just kind of start gathering people around. Maybe that's the only reason you're in Sisel.
Right.
Right.
Social. Yeah.
For the social aspect of it. I mean, and then you start finding out you feel healthier. I was talking to a gal last night that she joined me. She's from down in Arizona. And she was telling me, Andrea, she's 54 years old. And she was telling me that she went to work yesterday and somebody mistook her for the 20-year-old that works in the office.
Sweet.
Right? I mean, who wouldn't want that? I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I don't care how old you are, And somebody mistook her. She's 54, and they said to her they thought she was the 20-year-old in the office.
Right. I heard that portion of Tom's call today where he said that somebody was in the office and him and his son were standing next to each other, and she said, "You look younger than your son." And he's saying,
Right.
you know, his eyebrows are getting dark again, and
Right.
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
I
his
don't know
hair
how old Tom is. He's in his he's in his late 70s.
70 something. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
love to know what his biomarkers say now, because I know he did that test about 5 years ago or so. And he was about age 48
Yeah.
internally. He was age 48. And that was before the age pill.
That was before the age bill.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun when you start seeing things like that. And you know, boy, I tell you what, there's so many things you can do. You know, we've got such great products. I mean, here I've got, you know, my skincare products, right here. I got some in my eye. That's why my eye
Yeah,
is red.
don't put it in your eye.
Yeah, I was sitting here and I was using my computer screen, this camera. I was using that as my mirror, and I put some in my eye,
Uh-oh.
right? But again, it's like being on the beach, right? Because I can just pretend I got sunscreen in my eye,
Yeah, not good either way.
right? You know, stepped on a pop top, blew up my flip flop.
Right.
There's a little Jimmy Buffett for you. But you know, and so as we take a look, oh, here comes the truck that's going to deliver my exercise equipment. It's just pulling up. So as we talk about optimum health, Andrea, we got to look at nutritional products, right? We got to look at what products can actually make it so that you can feel healthier. And I'm gonna kind of key up, and then I'm gonna mute myself out because this truck is just pulling up. But you know, talk a little bit about what does the age pill do, right? Talk a
Right.
little bit about TSX, and talk a little bit about, you know, the Fucoid and the entire triangle of life, the 4 Restore. If you could share that with people, and as soon as this doorbell rings, I got to run. But if you, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay, great. Well, you know, I'm going to start off with talking about the triangle of life, because that was initially the products that got me involved in Sisel, and, you know, created a desire for improvement. My personal story is that I kind of think I was pre-diabetic. I was having some health issues, and I thought, oh, I need to get my inside chemistry straightened out, right? I met Doc through a different, you know, thing other than Sisel online, and he sent me, you know, some information about Triangle of Life, and I didn't look at it. I just ignored it, like, you know, lots of people do when someone sends them something that they think will help them. And so I, you know, at one point he says, "Hey, I sent you that. Did you listen to it?" And I went, "Well, I'll go listen to it." All it took was me listening to that one video that he sent me about Triangle of Life, and I went, "This is exactly what I need." So in there we have Spectramax, which Tom Maurer says out of the 3, he wouldn't live without Spectramax. It has, I think it's 74 essential minerals in it, and a lot of just really good things for antioxidants that support the body really well. Then we have Fucoidin, which is our little miracle liquid nutritional drink from the sea, from brown seaweed. And in their native area where this grows, they actually call this mother's milk. It's that good for you. So I use that, like in the winter, I won't go without it. I'm doing a dose every single day, sometimes 2, because here in Michigan, I don't know about where you live, everyone gets sick in the winter. Like, you know, you go in the grocery stores, you're wiping those cart handles down, you're wearing gloves, everything, because there's so much disease from people who aren't taking care of themselves. So, you know, I use the Fucoidin. It boosts your immune system somewhere between 400 and 3,000% in about 10 days. Now, where can you get something that's going to do that, right? It reduces inflammation. The very first time I took it, I could feel the inflammation practically leaving my body, which was amazing. Let's see. It's just really good. It does all kinds of processes in the body, helps with all kinds of things like that. If you went to PubMed.gov, you would see over 1,000 research articles about Fucoidin. the substance that is in it. And what Tom says about that is people aren't going to expend their research money on something that isn't valuable. So that's why it's important to see 1,000 articles on something. And great for gut health, all kinds of things. And then we have Eternity, which is the third liquid nutrient that we have. Eternity is based on the research of Dr. David Sinclair. When he worked at Harvard, he's now with the university in Australia. And he's the one, him and his team are the ones that initially discovered resveratrol, which you may have heard that, oh, red wine is good for you. Well, there's a tiny little part of the grape skin that's good for you, and it's called resveratrol. You'd have to drink about 900 bottles of wine to get the effect. But what some other companies and also our company has done is they've made that a super extract that you can take, and so you can take a dose, and it's like, and I'm not sure about the number here, but I think I've heard it's like drinking 200 bottles of wine, so, or glasses of wine. So super great for anti-aging, get more lean muscle mass, conditions in the body get straightened out from it, healthier skin, nail, hair, all of that. So that leads us up to our super anti-aging product that Tom just announced today is going to be reformulated for the 5th time since its introduction, which was July 17. It was introduced, and we have literally probably thousands of people reverse aging on this product. It's based on all the anti-aging information and research that's been out there for, accumulating for the last 20 years. And Tom put all that research together into this formulation. Not only did he put in the natural plant-based precursors to increase NAD in your body, but he designed it in such a way that it removes glycation from the cells. And that is kind of like this crusty plaque that builds up on the protein in your DNA so that your cells don't replicate correctly, causes mutations, things like that. He also designed it to remove lipofuscin, which is just cellular sludge. It's like the leftover garbage your cell can't get rid of, and as it accumulates, as we get older, it's causing decay and degeneration. So basically the age cell is providing the natural ingredients to increase NAD in your body. And you've probably heard Doc say before, without NAD in your body, you're going to die in 30 seconds. It's a very important thing. And then it removes all this garbage so that your cells function like they did when you were much younger. So many, many of us are using that, and we're getting great results. I mean, if you go back and look at my picture from 2 years ago compared to today, I think I look much younger. We can see Doc's picture up here right now. He looks much younger than he did 2 years ago. So, and it's not just about looking younger. It's about what's it doing inside your body. I mean, if it's reversing decay and degeneration, what's it doing? We have tons of research articles from institutions like MIT and Harvard where they have researched the increase of NAD in the body and the effects, and it has phenomenal results. So that's the age pill that you should probably consider, looking into that. So get back to the person who invited you to this call, or if you're seeing it on a friend's social media page, or they've shared it with you, because Doc will put this on YouTube. Get back with them and say, hey, I want some more information on these products that she's talking about, especially the age pill. I mean, literally, unless you have some major health issues going on and, you get a consultation from someone that, you need something else, I'd start with the age pill. That's just my recommendation. That's what got me excited. So I did see improvement from taking the Triangle of Life, myself personally, in my health. And then after that, the age pill came out, and I have taken that either the regular dose or a double dose for the last 18 months. And it's been pretty phenomenal. Improving things like skin, memory. My hair grows so fast. I just got my hair cut like 5 weeks ago, and it's time again. I can see this is going to be expensive having short hair now because it's growing so fast. Nails are better. My veins are much better. People report that their varicose veins, spider veins all disappear. You know, people with gray hair, white hair report that even though they've had that for years, their hair is getting darker. As I mentioned before, Tom Mauer, late 70s, says his eyebrows are getting darker now. So that's pretty amazing. And let's see, what else did Doc want me to talk to you about? Well, you know, we just have so many great products that you should get a hold of the person who does have a Sisel website and just go through. And if you have questions about any of the products, get with them. I'm sure they can provide a video on that product for you so that you get good information about it. We have a product that Tom developed basically to fight those pathogens that have biofilm on them. Biofilm is like camouflage on, let's call it bacteria. Let's say you have bacteria and it develops this camouflage on itself, kind of like a hunter putting on their camouflage suit, goes standing in the woods, you can't see him, right? Well, that's what this bacteria does. And when it happens, your immune system can't see it. And so these pathogens stay in your body. So we have this great product called Avenger. So if you've had ongoing problems with viruses, bacteria, fungus, yeast, things like that, it might be something you want to get some more information on. And I recently had a Facebook friend. She and I've been friends for, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years. And yeah, I see her post, you know how Facebook drops everybody unless you stay totally connected. And every once in a while I'd see her post, and I started seeing that she was having some health issues or posting about that. I ended up at one point, because she just sounded pretty desperate, calling her and saying, you know, what's going on? And we got her a consultation about what products to use, because she did have a 3-year experience of fighting off E. coli plus a biofilm type bacteria in her body. And she was getting, she was a pretty sick young woman. And it's been 4 weeks since she ordered the products that were recommended to her. And I talked to her yesterday, and she is doing so much better. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to do a live with her if everything works out for us, for our schedules. I'm going to do a live with her so that she can share her testimony so far. And it's only been 3 weeks. It's been recommended that she take the products for 90 days just to make sure that this situation she's had for 3 years is gone. So that will eventually get posted to YouTube, and it will be probably found on Sisel Doctors Clinic page so that you'll be able to see that. So let's see, Doc wanted me to discuss, you know, we've got 360, Compass 360, which is your basic everyday supplement to get lots of good nutrients, your vitamins, things like that. And the one thing I want to mention about Sisel Products here, if we're talking about optimizing your health in 2019, do you want to go to, say, a big box store and purchase, you know, inexpensive supplements that have been actually proven by the FDA when they went in and just gathered up all this stuff to see what was in it, that most of them don't have the quality that is required to be effective. And some of them don't even have, you know, a smidgen of the active ingredient in them. So do you want to like spend your hard-earned cash on something that's really going to be effective for you and safe? Or do you want to just like keep taking cheap supplements that probably aren't doing much for you. And you're basically, flushing them down the toilet. So you want to think about that. And, we could off there. That was from Springville, Utah. I wonder what they want. So anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, the supplements. So we can recommend supplements to you all day. I mean, we could recommend whole list, but we know, and for us too, it doesn't fit into our budget to take everything that you might want to take. So this is how I kind of do it. Like, for sure, I'm always going to take the H pill. And then after that, fucoidan is very high on my list, but I don't have any health issues. So those are the two products that I normally take on a regular basis. But the other products that I want to try, or because there's something going on, I want to take them in, because my budget doesn't stretch, to hundreds of dollars. I mean, I could literally spend tons of money a month if I took everything I want to take. But in reality, we can't do that. So I will move them in and out. So I figure if I'm getting them, once every 3 months, that's better than me not getting them at all, right? And I see Dad back. He was doing his muscle man thing, taking that elliptical machine down to his basement. So
we actually didn't haul it in the basement. The delivery guy said he's not allowed to do that.
Oh, of course. I kind of figured that. I rambled on here about Triangle of Life and H pill, and that's about it. So I'm just going to let you take over. I didn't talk about 4Restore, and I know it's a really hot product that you like to recommend.
Yeah. 4Restore, I'll tell you what I really like about just kind of a shortened version of it is that from eating the foods that we eat, the insides of our arteries get clogged up. They say that, back when they invented the EKG machine back during World War I, back in 1918 over in Germany, there wasn't enough people to really test to prove that the EKG machine worked. And so when American doctors came back from the war, they were trying to prove that this machine worked, and it took years to find enough people to test it. Today, if you invented the EKG machine, I mean, Andrea, they're saying that they could have that thing tested right here in my backyard because there's so many people with heart disease. They're saying that like an average 20-year-old, that the inside of the arteries is partially plugged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were teaching me that at college back in the early 90s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that scary when you start thinking about 100 years ago, we couldn't find enough people to test the machine, and now average 20-year-old has plugged arteries?
Right.
Yeah. My mom had her carotid arteries a number of years ago was 90% blocked.
Well, you know what? I love the story, and I don't know where I heard it, about the cardiologist who discovered that. And he, had a clinic full of patients, and he started using the ingredient that's in our 4Restore, ended up cleaning out his whole client base.
Yep. Yeah. My mom, her arteries were plugged, and the doctor, the neurologist here in town was recommending that they go in and put a stent in her neck. Right. And I know the studies on stents, it's not all that good, and no long-term studies. And so I asked Mom, I said, hey, would you talk to your doctor and just say, would you give me some time, give me a couple months before we go do the surgery? And the doctor said, sure. I mean, I'm guessing he thought nothing's going to work. Sure. Anyhow, we put my mom on the 4Restore. We put my mom on the Eternity, and I don't know if it had anything to do with it, right? I mean, it was probably just magic. It was probably just in her head, right? Because we can't say products cure or do anything, right. But the doctor canceled the surgery.
That's awesome.
Right? That's all I can say is that, cause and effect, right? Cause and effect.
Right.
But,
right. Here's something I thought about this week that maybe people don't think about. all through my life, when I thought about medicine, I was thinking that people, scientists, go into a lab and they take these substances and chemicals, they combine them, and they make this product that's supposed to be effective for a situation, right? But since then, I've learned that they actually study natural stuff. They find something that naturally works to take care of that situation. And then they basically tweak a few molecules to make it synthetic and then put it on the market.
That's right.
So, instead of taking the drug, find out what the natural stuff is behind it that will do the same job, right?
Yeah. University of Michigan, right there where you live, right in Michigan. What city is that in?
That's down in Ann Arbor. It's like 2.5 hours south of me.
2.5 hours south of you. What was it like 2 years ago? I'm going back in the memory banks here. It was 2 years ago. They came out with a study, and they said that people who are on chemo, half the people that died from cancer, they really didn't die from cancer. They died from the side effects of chemo.
Yeah. How can you poison your body and expect it to live?
So I looked at that and I thought, okay, that's a great study. I mean, let people know that the chemo can kill them. Okay, but most people actually know that. You don't have to tell them; they know it. But yet, the doctors have scared them into believing that this is the only thing they can do. So here's where the study came in from Michigan, University of Michigan study. It said that if those people that were on the chemo would take a good product for the digestive system, they could actually get rid of half of the deaths caused by the chemo.
Wow.
Right. And so I looked at that and I thought, well, that's pretty good numbers, right? So half of the people who die from cancer actually don't die from the cancer, they die from the chemo. And half the people that die from the chemo wouldn't die from the chemo if they were on a product that would help rebuild the gut lining. So that means, so if you take those numbers, right, that means 25% of people who have cancer wouldn't die if they took a good gut product. I'm just adding the numbers, right? 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah, and that's why we do this call, right?
Yeah,
to get this good kind of information out to people.
And so the study was really, I mean, when you hear that study, I mean, don't you want to run and grab your Balance D and start taking it right now?
Yeah, I do.
Right? Drink some Bragg's apple cider vinegar. I found a new product. It's called Gut Shot. I like it, Gut Shot. And what it is, it's like Bragg's apple cider vinegar, except it's made with ginger and what else is in it? Beet juice. And you buy it in your grocery store. So it's not a product. It's not like a nutritional product. It's in your grocery store, but it's like Bragg's apple cider vinegar. But you combine that with Balance D. Now you've got some good things to rebuild the gut lining. But University of Michigan, in all of their wisdom, so how did this study end? They said, "Oh, we're designing a drug that will work like a probiotic."
Sure.
And I thought, well, how crazy is that? Right? How crazy is that? That here we have something, a probiotic, like Balance D. What does it cost?
Not much. It's like, what? Is that the one that's only $30 or something like that? I mean, hello.
Yeah, it's like El Cheapo, price. And that's what they're saying, that it'll help with that. But University of Michigan says, oh, we're going to design a drug that works like a probiotic. And I'm in my head, where's the wisdom? Where's the wisdom of that?
Right. But that's what they do on everything, just to make money. So
yeah. And that's so as we move into 2019, Andy was talking about, the TSX and the age pill and the triangle of life products, the Eternity, the Fucoid, the Spectrumax, why it's so important. We talked about Balance D. Why is that important? Because the microbiome of your gut needs to stay healthy. And it's not just your gut, the microbiome of the inside of your nose and the inside of your ears and all of the cavities in your body, they have a microbiome that protects the cell lining on the inside. and Balanced T helps out with that. I mean, it helps optimize your health. We can't make any claims, medical claims, things like that. Then we talk about, the product, the 4 Restore. What does it do? Well, they found in the studies that it works like a roto-rooter inside your arteries. It cleans out the plaquing and it helps work with that. And, I was talking about before I had to run and open the door for the delivery guy with my mom. My mom used Eternity and 4 Restore. Yeah. And the doctor, again, the products didn't do anything, but the doctor said they didn't have to do the surgery. And it's like 2 or 3 years later. And I was just with my mom and dad yesterday, my dad's birthday, and they're doing great. They went dancing on Sunday all afternoon.
That's sweet.
It's really cool. And mom is planning a trip for this summer. They're going to travel. They're going to travel way up to Montreal.
Really? Montreal's beautiful.
Yeah, they're going to drive up there.
Wow, that's ambitious.
Right? But that's the kind of vacation that we always did, driving. And that's why I'm into driving so much. I mean, put me in my car.
Right.
Right. And that's what I look like when I'm going down the road.
Not quite.
But, Andrea, it's a heck of a lot of fun. And we started looking at what can we do to make it so that we have a great year in 2019. I mean, holy cow, there's so many things that you can do, folks. I mean, and you might say, well, I can't afford gym equipment. I can't afford all the products. And like Andrea was saying, rotate them, use a little bit of this today, use a little bit of that tomorrow, use a little bit of this the next day. And you're still getting more than if you went out and bought the products on the shelf.
Yeah, El Cheapo.
Right. I mean, like I remember I was listening to the scientist who actually formulated the best-selling vitamin, and we won't name that vitamin, but the best-selling over-the-counter vitamin. And he said they start out with some really good ingredients, and then what they do is they throw it all together in a big mixer, right? And they blend all the ingredients together, and then what they do is they take and they compress it into a pill, and they compress it so hard that you can't dissolve it.
Yeah,
it's compressed so hard. But then because the ingredients are kind of gritty, what they do is they coat it with shellac. Right? You know where shellac comes from?
Yeah, I can't remember right offhand, but you said this before.
Shell, right? Think of shell. Insect shells, right?
That's right. Yeah.
They melt insect shells, and then they coat it so it's got a nice smooth coating. Well, according to a lot of the studies that I've read, it's like 3% of people can actually dissolve that shellac.
3%.
Yeah.
97% can't.
97%, you might just take your money and throw it across the room.
Right. Flush it down the toilet.
It's worthless, and that's what people are doing. That's what they're spending their money on. And I talk to people every day. They say, oh yeah, I take a multivitamin. I'm like, well, what do you take? And then they tell me, well, they're taking actually the cheaper version of the best-selling one. 3% of people can absorb the one that's the best-selling one. So what? Maybe 2% can absorb what's in the other one. I don't know. But yeah, crazy, isn't it?
But what we do know is that based on science and based on just morality, really, we have the most effective, high-quality products, I think, in my opinion, in the world. Because, I've studied what Tom does for the last, 2 years now. And it's impressive. It really is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so we've got the best products there. They make it so it's bioavailable. You can absorb what's in our product. The bioavailability, that's the word you want to learn, bioavailability. It means your body can absorb what's in them, right? So don't just look at what they have on the label, because if it says this is what's in there and you can't absorb it, it doesn't matter what's really in there, does it?
Right.
And do you pay more for a good high quality product? Yeah. Right. Can you get it from your food, Andrea? I mean, some people, I'm sure you have the same people telling you the same thing. I don't take any of those vitamins. I don't need those. Right. I'm just going to eat right.
Yeah, you're welcome. Everyone is welcome to go to the government agricultural website and just look up how much of this is in broccoli today compared to 1950s. I mean, you can do that. It's a simple research that you can do and
Right.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Our soils are depleted of the things that need to be in the plants to make them nutritionally viable for us.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't eat your way to good health anymore.
Mm-mm.
You
Well,
just,
no, absolutely not.
you can't eat your way to good health. And, you know, I mean, you might buy organic, you know, like everybody says, oh, I buy
Mhm.
organic. You know, in my opinion, no, the word organic really doesn't even mean anything anymore. Coca-Cola and
I
Kraft,
don't know how it could.
they bought that word. They bought it. They own it,
Mm.
right? So organic. I mean, did you know that it could be organic and still have Roundup on it,
Sure. I don't know how you keep that from traveling.
right? Well, it could be organic. They can spray it on there on purpose. I can take something and I can spray Roundup on. Well, and I shouldn't name products, but I can spray a pesticide on it, one that's safe for you that I would drink, and
He says sarcastically.
right, and and I can still call it organic.
Really? That's
Yeah,
scary.
because it's still organic. The product is still organic. It didn't
Got a
change the
nice little
product,
coating on it.
right? It didn't change the product. But so that's why Whole Foods. Well, and there I went and met another company, right? I mean,
You better watch it. Your PC's going crazy,
right?
or lack
Tomorrow,
thereof.
tomorrow you might find that I committed
Don't say
suicide,
it.
you know, right? 2 shots to the back of my head. Um, and but you know, crazy stuff. Andrea, you know, maybe we should continue this next week. Should we talk about the same
Yeah,
thing?
sure. Well, we talked about physical, we talked about mental, we talked about nutrition, talked about where you can get great nutrition. So,
Yeah.
we got a good start on things.
Yeah, let's talk about it next week, and maybe we can share some ideas on how you can be more effective in reaching your goals. Right? Because
Yeah,
there's some
that's a
there's
great
some tips
idea.
we can talk about that. You know, even though this is a more of a productly type call, we can talk about that. Let's talk about that next week.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, I'll let you close out the call. Thanks, Andrea. Thanks for taking over. Thanks for being here, everybody. You know, if you'd share this with people, give us the old thumbs up and smiley face, right? Let people know that we're here to help share some information, and it's not about selling you stuff. It's about helping you get healthier, because that's the overall goal. So, Andrea, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Yeah, that's our heartbeat, really. Um, so on the live post, you guys are seeing this. Go ahead and comment. What are some of the obstacles you have this week? Like not your health information, but just obstacles for optimizing your own health, or some topics that you might want us to cover next week to have Doc go over. And thank you, Doc, for always being here on Tuesday at noon, whether you're hunting, traveling, climbing a mountain, whatever you might be doing, you're always here for us. So every Tuesday, folks, you can tune in to Sisel Doctors Clinic on Facebook and listen to the latest and greatest health information that we're talking about. Merry Christmas. Have a great day. Off air.